Hello, friend. I got to thank my friend Ozzy for teaching me to say that. I called him up and he said it, and I realized that feels good, man. Thank you. I'm going to say prayers now, and you're to say them with me, and the idea is here that when you get a signal, each prayer that you get a signal on means you did the prayer. I'm going to start with ones that heal the planet. Now, there's no way that anybody is going to know that what we're doing here actually does anything unless you have first cured a physical disease with it and felt the symptoms clearing up. Or unless you've been in psychotherapy for a while and you know the difference between being in some kind of sick state and watching it disappear. Because those kinds of states disappear instantly when you do this. This is the cure for depression and addictions. My addictions basically disappeared. Although I keep a sharp eye and watch when I'm, because you know you're always an addict, so but we don't have to go there. We don't have to get into that. But certainly my physical diseases, I cured 2 kinds of herpes for one thing, and I cured my herpes in 1993. I was having herpes outbreaks for 28 years. I had 28 years of herpes outbreaks. I got it in '66 from a nurse. Of all people to get it from, you know, and I didn't know I could cure it until I did. One day on the patio of a car rental agency in Puerto Rico, I suddenly realized I could cure my herpes and did so. It was like, boom. And then I went back to the bed and breakfast and took a nap, and when I woke up I had it again. I could feel, see, once I cured it, I could feel the bad feeling that goes with it. Now, I'm not talking about the pustules here. I'm not talking about an outbreak now. Herpes sufferers know what I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about the feeling, the buzzing, the bad emotional kind of feeling you have with it. It's why they're so ashamed, like they feel bad, because you feel bad all the time, when you have herpes. For 20, I didn't realize. I never knew that I felt bad until it disappeared. I'm dead serious. I'm laughing, but I'm dead serious. People who do this thing that I'm showing you how to do laugh a lot. So we do. That's part of being okay. It's part of feeling good. Laughing is part of feeling good. Make a mental note. In case you were wondering, why is this guy laughing? That's why. Okay. Yes, so we're going to say prayers. And these are not necessarily the kind of prayers that will cure your disease, but they are if you have been having trouble getting signals. These prayers can be your breakthrough. And this is why I'm putting this on the signal failure page in the tutorial on the Cure Drive web college, which I am one of the founders of, so I have the authority to put movies there. And I'm going to put this movie on that page because if you are having any trouble getting signals and you say these prayers, this can be the beginning for you. Now, I'm not going to say all the prayers here, but I'll just say one. And you don't have to understand what this is or know what it means to get a signal on it. So look for a signal coming through one of your hands as I say this. I'm raising the noosphere to the 27th dimension. You don't have to say it out loud or even say it. You could just hear me say it and do it. What you're actually trying to do is do this. The signal means you've done it. I just got a signal. My signal looks like it's a very tiny little, like a sort of a twitch. Now, last night in our prayer meeting, somebody told me that he got it in his thumb, you know. A lot of people don't get twitches, they just get a pulse, which you wouldn't be able to see, so I'm not going to hold my hand up again. But or their hands get warm like when they're doing a Reiki session, or they're, you know, one guy who was curing HIV, you can see him in a movie on the homepage of curedrive.org. It is this website. You notice this is our bumper sticker, and do you notice there we put our cures there? See, what does it say? 87,000 cures. We brag about our cures. Like, that's why I wear this t-shirt. I didn't cure cancer. I never had medically diagnosed cancer. I actually had cancer. I found it in myself. It was probably around 96. After a movie I went to, I was just walking in the parking lot at Franklin Mills in, in North Philly. And I was looking at the stars. And a little angel came and whispered in my ear to check myself for cancer. You check yourself with these signals, you see. And I checked, do I have any cancer in any of my bodies? And I got yes. And that was the night I removed my cancer. I never manifested physically. I caught it. You know, that's what happened. I caught it before. I could be dead now. You know, you wouldn't have any of this. I'm sorry, without me, I don't know if anybody would have pushed everybody else to do it the way I did. See, what I do, my function in this whole work is I'm a pusher. Okay, I push people, you know, and everybody else does it. They're all heroic. They're wonderful. You know, all these people that you see involved with this they are heroes, and you have big footsteps to walk in, to fill, you know, big shoes to fill their shoes. Because you're coming after they did, and they gave you this. You know, you would not be able to cure your cancer if somebody else hadn't cured her cancer. And see, the cancer that I cured cancer, it was in other people. And it's because this is why I can wear this, because I was, you know, well, it's actually, you can just test, did I help somebody cure cancer? And if you did, you can wear one of these shirts. But if you don't get a signal, you can't wear the shirt. You have to win this, you see. The bumper sticker is fine to put on your car, but this shirt you have to win. But if you test it, then you can wear it. So, next prayer. I am now removing all pathologies from the noosphere. And when you get a signal, I got a signal already. When you get a signal, you've done that. I'm adjusting the particle indexes of the noosphere so that they are in balance and at full strength. And that would ward off attacks on the noosphere that are made by guess who? That's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to guess, you know. And sometimes what comes up is you can actually test that. Like, see if you get a signal on, ask this about yourself. Have I attacked the noosphere within the last week? This is a serious question you need to ask about yourself. Because the noosphere is the being that is planet Earth. And you know, people tend to anthropomorphize it and think it's, anthropomorphize it, and think that I can't remember how to say that. But you get the idea, right? And they tend to, you know, treat it like it's a human being. But actually, it's simply another kind of being than us. Just like, you know, you're not the same as a cat, right? And yet you respect the rights of cats. And you know that cats can love you and relate to you, and you may relate to cats really well, right? So you know, cats are different from people. Well, so's the noosphere. But it still, you know, deserves love and respect. We actually make up the noosphere. You and I are like cells in a body, and the body is the noosphere. So the noosphere dies, we die. I'm removing any predisposition in the noosphere toward disease. And when you get a signal, you've done that. And now I'm going to say a prayer that's been helping me, and feel if this helps you. Because see, there's another signal you get, and the other signal is a good feeling. And this feeling, you know, means you've cured something. The feeling that you get is more important than this little finger movement, obviously. I mean, who cares about a finger movement? What you want is to feel good, right? You're doing this to feel good, yes? Because when you're sick, you don't feel good, so you actually really don't care about curing the disease. What you care about is that the disease is going to stop your heart because it's heart disease, and then you're going to keel over dead. You know, you're going to go like that, you know, and then you're going to die, okay? So that's why you've chosen to cure it, you know, because you choose to feel good. And in the same way, you don't need a medically defined disease to feel bad. Most people walk around feeling bad all the time, and they don't even realize that they have, you know, they have some kind of bad feeling running, even when they're enjoying themselves with a group of friends and having a wonderful dinner with wine, you know, and they're feeling like overtly fantastic, and they don't realize they don't feel that good. A lot of people just don't they don't know when they, you know, when they don't feel bad, when they feel bad, you know. By the way, I'm sorry to say that I have a tendency to act these things out. So, you know, sometimes as I do these prayers, you may see bad feelings crossing my face, or have bad feelings go through you as you do the prayers. And you should be paying attention to those, because not all those bad feelings are yours. Some of them, like what you're doing, is you're channeling and hopefully curing bad feelings in other people. And that's what you want to be doing, you know. You don't just want to channel the bad feelings of others, although it's okay to do that. You want to actually cure them. Because you can help other people. But it doesn't mean you can cure your mom's cancer. Don't even think about it. She's got to do it for herself. People have to cure their own diseases. And we're here to help. You know, you are now, because you can do this now, presumably. You know, since you presumably have been getting signals while you're doing this, you are now one of us and here to help. And help by telling people in every way possible that they can cure things. That's why we've got bumper stickers, so that you can put one on your car. And somebody, you know, the woman in the car behind you who's just got the death sentence from her doctor, she's got terminal cancer, she needs to see that bumper sticker. Because you're never going to get another chance to talk to her. This is it. You know, she's behind you on the expressway. So she has just that little window to find out that she doesn't have to die a horrible death of this crippling disease. And rip her family to shreds, emotionally and financially in the process, which she will desperately try to avoid by keeping her cancer a secret from everybody. That's what people do. They get cancer and they don't tell anyone because they don't want anybody to be hurt by it. And they, you know, they tell them like 3 weeks before they're going to die. They say, "Oh, by the way, I'm dying," and you know, it's pretty way worse than if the people had been allowed to help. But this is what people do because we're dysfunctional, and you can't afford to be dysfunctional even for a minute. It just is always doing damage. Just remember that. Your dysfunctions are always damaging you and everybody. on earth. So you just can't afford it. It's like any other addiction, okay? That's the thing addicts hate, you know, those words, I can't afford. Those are the words addicts never want to say, you know, I can't afford that. You can't afford that dysfunction. Okay, so I'm going to now say this prayer, which is I'm now asking the forgiveness of everyone I've harmed by not making IMMUNICS available to them earlier. And I'm getting a signal. This prayer is in several parts, okay? And what I'm doing is first I'm getting a signal on that I am actually asking forgiveness for this. Because if I don't ask forgiveness, I can't get forgiveness. You know, I'm not supposed to be sitting here hoping I'll be spontaneously forgiven for everything I've done wrong in my life. I need to ask. And I get a signal on that. So now, I get a signal now on that they've heard that. On the etheric level of my etheric body broadcasting that signal out to them, they have heard my request for forgiveness. And now I'm getting another signal, meaning that they've granted forgiveness to me. Now, of course, they don't know that, and I still need to ask them verbally when I am with them. You know, I need to talk to them and ask them for forgiveness. But I here and now, I have a change in me. And this is no kidding. Every last time I have ever done that prayer, I have had a change. And felt, you know, a calmness, you know, come over me, a peacefulness come over me. That's what this is about, you know, that when we are like this, we don't start wars. We don't litter. We don't pollute the environment, because when we're calm and clear, we don't do those things. And calmness and clarity is the real signal that you've cured something. The finger is an orientation that helps lead you to where you're going. And it does tell you that you're connected. Like, if you're not getting some kind of spontaneous physical signal. Now look, everybody's is different. Okay, I mean, one guy was saying his leg was moving, as I said before. So, you know, one of the HIV guys was saying his leg was moving. Actually, I'm just harking back on that. There were actually 2 HIV people who said that. So, you know, what I'm thinking here is that maybe it has something to do with the nature of curing HIV, that people get that kind of signal when they're curing it. I don't know, but that's what, you know, that's, I just noticed that. Now I'm remembering that. You learn something about curing diseases every day when you're doing this. And now I want to say some prayers for you. Okay, these are prayers that you say for yourself. This is called the gravitational strengthening prayer. And the prayer has prayers within it. I accept God's wisdom. Say this about yourself and get a signal. I accept God's wisdom. I'm attracting grace. I'm attracting guides and guidance. And I want to say that one a little differently, just for right now, which is I attract guides and guidance. I attract guides and guidance. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually turning myself into, or more into, somebody who attracts guides and guidance. I attract allies. I attract grace. I like that better. I attract money. I attract committed and caring people. who will cure planet Earth. You know, it takes nerve to do that. You need courage. I am dedicating this movie to my friend Bobby, who I met half a century ago, and who needs this, desperately needs this, and doesn't know it. Or at least, you know, not at the time I'm making, you know, she may know it when you're watching the movie, but she doesn't know it, or I don't think she knows it at the time, since I haven't seen anything coming from her to indicate that she does. And Bobby is a person who loves and has always loved and cared for me, and has provided for me when we've been in contact, has provided the things that I need and needed for my growth and my awareness, for my awareness to expand. And she always did that. She is a catalyst and appears at important times in my life. The other time of note being when I was 16. And so, Bobby, this movie goes out to you. And I'm going to show you where to find these prayers now. Say them every day. And actually do them. These are not the kind of prayers you say, they're the kind of prayers you do. You don't fold your hands. You look for a signal coming through your hands. And when the signal comes, it means you did the prayer. I love you and thank you. I'm going to show you how to find the links to these prayers, and obviously you can see they are links on a page, yes, and they are underneath a movie illustrating them. This is the continuous, that movie illustrates the top one, the continuous cleansing prayer right there. See that one? And then the movie that you're watching here illustrates the two beneath it. The global healing prayer and the gravitational strengthening prayer. And now these are on a page called signal failure. When people begin this study, they often fail to get a signal. Hence the page on signal failure. And that page is it's part of the one of the things that you do when you start, which is this. This is the it's the text and video accessing skill, and the link to this skill is right here on the home. As you can see, it starts with a movie of me explaining, and the second link here is signal failure. And if we go back one more, you're on the home page. Actually, it may not look like the home page, but it is. See? This is the beginning movie that you see when you first start this. It plays automatically when you come to this website. And this movie is what you're supposed to watch first. This woman is explaining about curing her herpes and showing how to get signals. And as we go down, you see here, I'm going back now to show you the way back. It's right underneath it is the newbie's video and text tutorial, which is what you were just looking at. And the second link there is to the page on signal failure. And then if you scroll down the page, ta-da, there are the links to the movies. So you can just play this over again if you can't remember it, but I'm sure that it won't be that hard for you to find these prayers. And when you do, by the way, another thing you should probably take note of is that this version that you're looking at on the web is not actually the printable version, because it's in columns. And the printer-friendly version, see up at the upper right, there's a link that says printer-friendly. And when you click on that, you get nothing. Franny? Well, that was embarrassing, but anyway, there will be a page there that will be in easy-to-print columns in large type, so enjoy. And it will be right there linked to this link called the printer-friendly version. Area code 813-672-3419.